understanding what your pain threshold is. And what I'm talking about with the pain threshold is, as human beings, we're motivated by two things. One of them is to seek pleasure, right? So doing things that will give us something that we want, something we want to move towards, something that makes us feel good. The other thing we're motivated by is to avoid pain, right? So we'll do anything that we can to avoid being in uncomfortable situations or situations that emotionally will cause us pain. So when we're looking at making changes, the things that we have to do is the difference between being wiped out after work and not wanting to go home and have to cook like a healthy meal when you're on a diet and let's say you're trying to lose 15 pounds or something, and you need to eat healthy, right? And at the end of the workday, though, you're tired and you're just craving, like pulling into the damn Jack in the Box, right? Because you really want like a burger and fries or a shake or whatever it might be. And what you're supposed to do, but it doesn't stop you from turning in the drive-thru, right, and going and ordering the damn Jack in the Box, right? So the thing is, the reason why that happens is because of the whole pleasure and pain thing that I just talked about. So at the time that you make that choice, even though you know that having the Jack in the Box isn't gonna give you the body you want, it's not gonna help you reach your health and fitness goals, you still make the choice, because at the time you make the choice, it is a less painful choice to make than going home and cooking the healthy meal, right? The healthy meal, to a degree, is more emotionally, it's more painful, right? And going to the Jack in the Box it's pleasure, right? You're seeking pleasure. You're seeking something that makes you feel good. So you're seeking pleasure and avoiding pain by making the choice. And that's how we're just hardwired to do that, even though we know that we're not supposed to be doing that. That's why you ever get in that situation where you're like, why the hell am I doing this? I know I'm not supposed to, but I'm going to do it anyway. And the problem with that is that what happens when we're seeking the pleasure is that we're not playing the tape all the way through in our minds, right? Like when you're watching a movie on a DVD and you pause it halfway through, right? But you don't play it all the way through. You just stop it. That's kind of what we're doing in our minds. We're thinking of how good it's going to make us feel when we're eating what we want, right? When we're eating that burger, right? Oh my God, it's going to taste so good. Oh my God, the vision in your mind you have of it, like it looks appealing. And that's all we think about. But that's like watching the DVD halfway through and pausing it. So the trick to it all is to play that tape all the way through, right? So let the DVD keep playing. And if you do, what you'll start to do is you'll go through the outcome of the choice you make. So if I pull into the drive-thru and I get the Jack in the Box, it's going to taste really good while I'm eating it, and I'm going to be in heaven while I'm eating it. But after, I'm gonna be tired, right? Because I'm gonna feel like shit pretty much because I have no energy, right? It's gonna drain me, and then also, I'm probably gonna feel bloated, and then I might not sleep well if it doesn't sit in me right. I toss and turn all night, or whatever happens with that. Or when I weigh myself the next time, I'm probably going to be heavier, or my stomach's going to be bigger instead of smaller. These are the outcomes of making the choice, and this is what happens when you play the tape all the way through. So the point that I'm making is that when you play that tape all the way through, it starts to change your perception of pleasure and pain, because when you look at the outcomes that follow the choices that you make, now when you kind of rewind and you go back into thinking about making that choice, am I going to go have the fast food that I want, or am I going to go home and cook the healthy meal I know I'm supposed to eat? Well, if you play that tape all the way through and you start thinking about the outcomes of the choices, the two choices you have, what you'll start to realize is that, man, I really want that fast food, but I don't want to deal with the outcome after. So for me at the time, it's going to be less painful if I just go home and buckle down and make the healthy meal, right? And I'll put off the fast food until maybe the weekend or just another time, just not now, right? Because now you're associating the pain of the outcome. It starts to become greater than just going home and eating the healthy food, right? Eating the healthy food now becomes more pleasurable. So it changes your emotional pain threshold when you start to look at the outcomes of the choices you make. And what it does for you is it changes you from being from making choices where you're basing your choices, that they're not even really choices, they're just reactions, right? You're just reacting to the environment around you. You're reacting to your emotions. You're reacting just to the situation on the spur of the moment, right? But instead, when you start playing the tape all the way through and looking at the outcomes of the decisions you make, now you're no longer reacting, you're choosing, right? You're making conscious choices with more awareness now of what's going on, right? Pain versus pleasure, right? Play the tape all the way through. So that's the main point that I'm trying to make. So if you do that, what you'll do is you'll find that it's not going to work like every single time. Don't get me wrong, right? This is not about like perfection and never, eating bad. And again, this could be anything. I'm just using like diet and fitness for an example, but this could be anything: finances, relationships, careers. It doesn't matter. It's just it's basing it on the same principles, right? If you follow me through, hopefully that's making sense. But to make a change stick, that's what you have to do is kind of is develop an awareness of where the pain threshold is and start looking at your outcomes of the decisions you make, right? Playing that tape all the way through. And that's what it's all about, right? Is performing your best in all areas of your life. And part of that is making the right decisions, right? Making conscious decisions. Not even right or wrong thing, really, right? What's right and what's wrong doesn't really matter. It's just all about making decisions that support you in performing your best in all areas of your life so that you can build a stronger life. All right? Take care.